Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Tyler Petermichel, and for my portion of the podcast, I'm going to be talking about some community efforts and how these community efforts are making a difference when it comes to the homelessness crisis we've been talking about and the homelessness crisis in the world today. So, what are ways that homelessness perspectives are being changed by community efforts? Well, as we talked about already a little bit, Habitat for Humanity is an organization that does a lot does a lot for the homeless and helping out with the homelessness crisis that we have. According to their website, they have spent more than 4 decades building affordable homes and repairing homes to address the housing crisis and other housing issues that we have present in the world today. So, a specific example from this I found from their fiscal year 2023, which is July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023, the report for that time period was an individual. Her name was Marcia. She's an Army veteran who faced more than 2 decades of housing instability. After she got out of the Army, she faced a lot of housing instability for these 2 decades, plus a bunch of serious personal challenges and what she described as survival mode. She struggled to find a safe, decent place for her and her family to live. Long story short, after that, she was accepted into the Southern Crescent Habitat for Humanity's home ownership program that they have in Georgia, where she was living at the time. With this, she was able to purchase an affordable home through them, and is now teaching her children the same process, so her children don't have to deal with the same struggle as she did growing up. So Habitat for Humanity helped her out. It's also helping her children out as well with home buying and everything like that. So that's definitely a inspiring story. It's a good example, I think, of how Habitat for Humanity helped out an actual real person, see a real person story here, and it's definitely a big impact community effort there. So we'll look at some statistics from the fiscal year 2023, that July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023, some of the things that Habitat for Humanity has been doing. So we'll look at the United States and Canada. And their statistics they have for that is new construction or new homes being built. There was 11,516 during that time period. Rehab construction, they had 2,788. Repairing people's homes, about 22,010. And this totaled out to 36,314. So a lot of good efforts, a lot of community efforts happening to help out with the housing crisis in the U.S. there. And we'll look at where I'm at here in Japan in the Asia and Pacific region. So new construction, new homes being built, they were able to build 6,155. Rehab construction, they had 105. Incremental construction, 75,080. Repairs, 31,195. Professional services, 85. Market development, 1,642,600. Civil society facilitation, 44,720, and this totaled out to 1,799,940. So big efforts, a lot of good things happening to help out with the housing crisis that we have in the world today that Habitat for Humanity is helping out. So what Habitat for Humanity also is doing with these stories is showing that homelessness doesn't just affect people, who maybe don't want or lazy, who don't want to work. It can affect just about anyone who maybe who gets dealt a bad hand, for example. Can affect any one of us, just in the case of Marcia, as we talked about here, a specific example. Or like I said, organizations like Habitat for Humanity are help changing that perspective, and they're helping out a lot of people around the world with finding a place to call home, and helping repair their homes if they do get affected by whatever thing may happen to their home, natural disaster, whatever the case may be. They help them out with repairing that as well, along with building the new homes for people who don't have one. So moving on, what are some ways that every one of us can help out with the homelessness in our community? So there's an article that we found by Lead for Life, and it's 5 ways to help the homeless in your community. Number 1 they have on here, locate homeless shelters in your area. So a lot of people may not even know where the homeless shelters are around them. Go ahead and figure out where they are, locate them. Once you locate them, number 2 they have on here, donate. Donate whatever you can to them. I appreciate every donation they can get. You can also volunteer as well. They talk about that in this second step as well, volunteer. So maybe you don't want to donate, you just want to donate your time. They will accept that as well. So volunteer, donate, and volunteer. Number 3 they have on here, start a fundraiser. So you can either do that, there's some ways you can do that, GoFundMe. social media, a lot of ways. I know Facebook does, you can raise money off on Facebook, other social media platforms I know do the same as well. Just start a fundraiser, whatever you can, whatever little you can, help and donate that to homeless efforts. Number 4 they have on here, support local politicians who fight homelessness. So if you know of a politician who's advocating to help out with the homelessness crisis that we have, support them, give them your support, give them your vote. They definitely are the ones that can make those policy changes that will help out with helping out with the homelessness crisis that we have. And then finally, they have on here number 5, practice kindness when you encounter homeless individuals. So as we talked about in our podcast, we're trying to get rid of all those perceptions of the homeless and what being homeless means. So best way you can do that and help out with that is just be kind to a homeless person. You don't know what their situation is. You don't know why they're homeless. You don't know what they're going through, what hand they were dealt. So just practice kindness as much as you can and help them out, and that should help them out with that as well. So to conclude here, we talked about understanding the global scale of homelessness. So understanding that homelessness affects the entire world, everyone in the world, and some capacity affects the whole world. We recognize the human side and mental health side, recognize that homelessness has an effect on mental health. We address some of the root causes of homelessness. So a big one is the housing crisis, how homes are becoming very expensive, and paychecks and people are not basically keeping up with it, and the cost of owning a home, people can't really afford it. We address some of the social stigma surrounding homelessness, so understanding that homeless people, they may have just been dealt a bad hand, as we've talked about, just changing those perceptions. We brought awareness to this issue, so understanding, some people may not even understand how big of an issue homelessness actually is in the world, but it's a pretty major issue that we've talked about, affects the entire world in some way or another. And then we explored some solutions and some community efforts to help change the perspective on homelessness. So we talked about, obviously, a big one, Habitat for Humanity. We talked about Habitat for Humanity and their efforts and what they're doing to try to help solve the homelessness issue that we have in the world today. And so to conclude, by advocating for change, we can contribute to a society that values compassion, equity, and a home for all. Appreciate everyone watching our podcast today. And I appreciate everyone's time. We all appreciate your time. And thank you. Have a great day.